June 1798. The guns of revolution thunder across Europe. France, under the rule of its young general Napoleon Bonaparte, marches toward empire. His eyes are set on Egypt, but before he can reach the sands of the Nile, he must seize one of the Mediterranean's most formidable fortresses, Malta. A tiny, sun-baked island in the heart of the Mediterranean. 4 centuries, a fortress, a bastion of crusaders, knights, and kings. But in the summer of 1798, the fate of this ancient rock changed forever. In today's documentary, we are going to look over the causes and the course of this military action, which had a big impact over Malta's history. Rising from the sea between Sicily and North Africa, Malta commands the crossroads of empires. For nearly 3 centuries, it has been ruled by the Order of St. John, warrior monks known as the Knights Hospitaller. Yet by the 1790s, the once feared order is weakened by corruption, internal division, and a changing world. The island remains heavily fortified, but its defenders are few, and their loyalties divided. On May 19, 1798, Napoleon departs Toulon with over 400 ships and 30,000 troops, the largest French naval expedition in history. Though the campaign's ultimate goal is Egypt, Napoleon knows that Malta, if left in hostile hands, could jeopardize his entire operation. To secure the route east, Malta must fall, quickly. On June 9th, the fleet drops anchor off the northeastern coast of Malta. Napoleon sends envoys to the island's rulers, requesting permission to resupply in Grand Harbour. The Knights refuse. Their laws allow no more than 4 foreign warships at a time. The standoff is brief. Napoleon responds not with diplomacy, but with invasion. At dawn on June 10th, 3 French assault groups storm Malta's shores. To the northwest, at St. Paul's Bay, 2,000 troops under General D. Sykes push inland. To the southeast, near Marsaxlok, 4,000 men under General Barraget de Hilliers land unopposed. A third force lands at Melilla, drawing defenders away from key positions. The Knights garrison, barely 7,000 men in total, many of them ill-equipped militia, cannot hold the countryside. Within hours, French forces overrun key positions across the island. Several fortresses surrender without resistance. The Maltese population, weary of the order's heavy taxation and neglect, offers little opposition. Inside Valletta, Malta's capital, the Order of St. John begins to unravel. Over half the knights are French. Many refuse to fight against their own countrymen. The chain of command begins to break. By June 11th, the French encircle Valletta. Artillery is positioned to strike, but the guns never fire. The Grand Master, Ferdinand von Hompesch, knows resistance is futile. On June 12th, after barely 2 days of fighting, he surrenders. The island falls, without a siege, without a final stand. The great bastions of Malta, once hailed as impenetrable, pass into French hands. Napoleon enters Valletta in triumph, but he does not linger. In the 6 days he remains on the island, he enacts sweeping reforms. The feudal system is dismantled. Slavery is abolished. Education is overhauled. Yet the French also seize church treasures and suppress monastic orders. Gold, relics, and artworks are packed aboard French ships, including the famed sword of Grand Master La Valette. To many Maltese, the liberators now seem like looters. On June 19th, Napoleon departs Malta to continue his campaign in Egypt. He leaves behind a garrison of 4,000 men under General Claude Henry Vaubois, and a population growing increasingly hostile. The French administration continues its secular reforms. But in deeply Catholic Malta, the desecration of churches and seizure of sacred relics ignites fury. On the 2nd of September, 1798, revolt breaks out in the ancient city of Modena. The Maltese drive out the French garrison and raise their old banner. The uprising spreads like wildfire. Within days, nearly the entire island rises in rebellion. French troops are harassed at every turn. Roads are blocked. Supply lines are cut. Vaubois retreats into Valletta with his soldiers. As French control shrinks to a few fortified zones on the harbour's edge, the siege of Valletta begins. Malta's irregular forces, armed with captured weapons, old artillery, and raw determination, encircle the capital. Though outgunned, they control the island's terrain. No food, water, or message reaches the French without resistance. The Maltese send word to Europe: help us drive the invader from our land. The call is answered. The British Royal Navy arrives, imposing a total naval blockade of Valletta. Soon, Portuguese and Neapolitan ships join the siege. The French are trapped. Captain Alexander Ball of the Royal Navy takes command of the blockade and wins the trust of the Maltese leaders. Together, they coordinate land and sea efforts to squeeze the French garrison into submission. Weeks turn months. Supplies dwindle. The French begin eating horses, then dogs, then leather. Disease spreads. Morale collapses. Outside the walls, the Maltese hold fast. British warships prevent any hope of relief. Inside, the once proud garrison fades into despair. On September 4th, 1800, after nearly 2 years under siege, General Vaubois surrenders. Over 3,000 French troops lay down their arms. The British enter Valletta, 2 cheers from the Maltese. The tricolour is lowered. The Union Jack rises in its place. Though the Treaty of Amiens briefly promises the return of Malta to the Knights, Britain refuses. The island becomes a permanent naval base and a cornerstone of British imperial strategy. The French would never reclaim it. Napoleon would fall. But Malta's fate, decided in days and defended 4 years, would shape Mediterranean power for a century to come. Malta, forged by crusaders, sieged by empires, held by rebellion. In 1798, a single order from Napoleon changed its course forever. The guns may have fallen silent, but the stones remember.